Thank you for coming. Thank you on behalf of the AST, the Arsenal Supporters Trust. It is our 20th year. And thank you for our members that have been with us from the start, those that have joined more recently, and this is being recorded as well, so welcome to our overseas members who'll be watching this on a recording in the next few days, so welcome to you too. Just want to thank everyone for coming again. Thank you for Arsenal for helping us with the venue, and let's just have a really good night. I know normally we the meetings are a little bit more about governance and stuff like that. We've got a bit of that, but we've also just got a little bit of fun today. So I want to introduce our host for the evening. It's not me, thank God. It's someone a little bit more professional and who knows what they're doing. You hear him every morning on Capital Radio. He is Martin Kemp's son. Jack Whitehall told me about that joke. It's Roman Kemp. Welcome. Give him a round of applause.
Hello. So my name's Roman Kemp. For those people that don't care who I am, basically Akhil didn't have enough money to book my dad. So I turn up for like 20% of the price, which is quite good. If you're old enough to know who my dad is, you would have heard the song throughout the stadium last year. So, I mean, that's been absolutely wicked. Honestly, he nearly weed himself the first time he saw it. He missed the whole game just going, watch the video back. For the younger members, you might not know, mate, who my old man is. He's the old bloke at the end of the Awake advert. The grey one, right? He's the one who says, well, what does he say? He goes, what should we play next? What he doesn't tell you is that Zinchenko turned around and said, Duran. Look, Akhil, thank you so much for having me here. AST is obviously something that you can't support Arsenal without seeing it, without knowing about what it is. And 20 years going strong is quite impressive, isn't it? As he said as well, great night ahead. We've got some really, really nice conversations just to get you nice and, I was going to use the word lubricated for the season, but I guess tonight, potentially, why not? Lubricate yourself. Love it. So up first, Akhil's going to come back up here. We've got Glyn Taylor and Nigel Phillips, founding members of the AST. Where are you guys?
You want to sit, or? There's me saying I'm not hosting and I'm first up, isn't it? That's just so me. So we've got Nigel and Glyn, who are founding members. Obviously, I'm not old enough to be a founding member, obviously. They're a little bit older than me. But Glyn, if I come to you first. AST, how did it start and why did it start?
Okay. Well, we started 20 years ago. February 2003, I should say, on a shoestring. I remember signing the Constitution with the three of us that signed it. Is myself, Steve Powell, who's here, Ernie Reyes, who's here as well, and we were formed to give shareholders a voice. Give fans a voice. Simply that.
And Nigel, you obviously joined early days as well. How was it for you?
It was a very important time. The club in those, it was a great footballing period. We were just coming into the invincible season, but we had a disparate shareholding. We had 4 major shareholders, and the 5th shareholder was about 600 or 700 people. We wanted to get together as the 5th voice in the boardroom. So it did start about governance, and it's grown into something where we've now got 3,000 members. We don't own shares anymore, which is a great sadness to us, but the trust has done some remarkable things, which I'm sure we will reflect on tonight. And with some remarkable people, and I know it's not, just a very quick name check for those people who've done heavy lifting over the last 20 years. Everyone's been invited. It's great to see so many of the volunteers. It is a volunteer organisation. So in very quick, 21 board members over those years. Mark Brindle, thank you, Mark. David Carthy, Stephen Cooper is here. James Corbett, Mary Derain, Jeffrey Freeman, just out of hospital. Simon Hill, who's in France at the moment. Richard Irvin, haven't seen Richard, used to live down the road. Tommy King, absolutely here. Tommy, well done. Thank you for everything you've done and do. Neil Page, Steve Power, Ernie Reyes, Emma Shepherd, and Leslie Williams. And then the current board, Tim Payton, Glyn Taylor, Chloe Tron, Akhil Zach, Phil Wall and myself. So a pat to all those people. Thank you.
And Glyn, obviously one of the biggest things that AST did was Fanshare. What was Fanshare all about?
Yeah, Fanshare was really what we were about in the early days, and I still believe passionately in today, because it's my view that fans should have a say in their football club. It's my view that fans should own shares in a football club. And it's certainly my view that fans should have representation at a football club at various levels. So Fanshare was formed to allow Arsenal supporters to buy shares in the club, which were then 12 or 14,000 pounds, I think, when we started. So we had this Fanshare scheme, and again, big mention to Steve Powell, because Steve Powell's original model was what we used to develop Fanshare. Fanshare was then, with the support of the current CEO at Arsenal, then Ivan Gazidis, and Danny Fisman, the owner, or the largest owner at that point, and it allowed people to own shares. So it was professionally run. We had 2,000 people owning between them more than £2 million worth of shares in Arsenal. And it gave us a voice, and it gave us representation at general meetings.
And obviously that did end, Nigel, but in more recent times, 20s plenty, ticketing, there's been lots that the AST have been involved with.
A huge number of initiatives, and the support and the feedback we get from members helps form those views. It's not just a collection of a few individuals. So when you get the survey and the newsletter, please do respond to those. Those really do help us represent the views of this group and a wider group to the executive. So whilst we're no longer a shareholder body, as Akhil said, there are plenty of supporter initiatives, and the dialogue and relationship with the executive of the club is excellent. We wouldn't be here otherwise, and some of the work that people like Tim Payton and Akhil deal with the ticketing team and the events, etc. Sometimes we've often been a critical friend of the club, but absolutely a friend, because we've all got the same thing at heart. So members' opinions and views are important. We are representing our members on all the occasions. So please continue to fill in those surveys.
And just staying with you, what sort of next? I mean, sort of haven't covered the Super League. I know we covered that last time round, but we had obviously the Super League and all the work that went around that. But what's next for the AST?
To have a trophy on the other side of the dais, and that will be the Premier League trophy. It's coming home. It's been a long time. 2004 is a long time. So is that what you wanted, or was it something about the trust?
A bit about the trust, and obviously there's some things going on at number 10 as well.
Well, the independent regulator, no one could have been missed the Super League debacle from April 2021, which was a watershed moment, not just for Arsenal and the Big Six, but the whole of football. So we've vehemently supported the establishment of an independent regulator, which has been approved by Parliament. There's still a lot of work to be done under that. Some people don't like regulation. It's a free market world out there. But football clubs are too important to be owned by individuals, too important to be messed around with. So we think this, not just for Arsenal, but for the whole of the football pyramid, down to the non-league, is important. Sporting meritocracy is absolutely important. And if we fail through that, then so be it. That will be done on the pitch, and sometimes off the pitch, with things which go wrong in terms of ownership and dodgy characters at different levels. So absolutely, we're backing that as strongly as we can.
And Glyn, as my elder, final word to our members here tonight and those watching online?
Well, obviously, thanks ever so much for your support for joining the AST. Please mention us to all your friends and families so we can grow the AST. And remember that football owners are custodians. Football belongs to the fans. So with your support, we can do our best to make it stay that way.
And Nigel, final word?
Final word is, we're here. Akhil pitched the AST 20 evening to the trust board at the end of March. He is an organiser by nature. So at the end of March, he came up with a plan which we sort of backed, and it's a financial plan, it's all this type of stuff. He formed an organising committee of one. That was Akhil. And he's ploughed on for 4.5 months to get us to where we are tonight. There's been twists and turns in it, but I hope you agree it will be a tremendous evening. He's done a great job. Akhil, thank you for everything you've done. and organise the AST 25 as well if we're all still here.
Yeah, I'm not sure my wife and a little one will allow me, but let's see.